Hey F1 fans, welcome to the Who Moved Up and Who Moved Down video for Japan Grand Prix this past weekend. Check out the track. It's got a cross in the middle if you haven't noticed. It's actually one goes onto the other and it's a loop, giving the drivers approximately the same amount of right-hand corners as left-hand corners. Which you would think is good for tire wear, but actually because of the heat it's still a pretty challenging race for tire wear. With no further ado, let's see what happened. And our first move is George Russell. His race, he started in P8. He tried a one-stop strategy and it worked for a while, but toward the end he was holding up his teammate Hamilton on fresher tires, so they were asked to swap and he finished P7. And it was not enough points to maintain his position in the championship. Lando Norris qualified P3 with his teammate Oscar in P2, but got ahead of him at the start and stayed there to the finish in P2, and this moved him up in the championship. A great race for him and another podium. Also, hey, look at that. So another one who moved up quite intensely is Oscar. Qualified P2, as we said. He pitted on the virtual safety car when Max and Lando were already past the pit. So this looked like he was going to get a great undercut started on them. However, by the end of the race, his strategy didn't keep him ahead of Lando. And he finished in P3, still bringing enough points to move him up 2 spots in the championship and gain his first Formula One podium. Great job, Oscar. But because he moved down, we have two that moved, because he moved up, we have two that moved down. Lance Stroll qualified poorly to begin with in P17. Then in the race, he had to retire due to unsafe damage on the rear of his car. Another one to forget for him and another week with no points. Pierre Gasly qualified P12 only. Had a difficult race, including being asked to move aside for his teammate Ocon near the end, and this had him finishing in P10 and bringing in just 1 point. All right, all the rest of the drivers stayed the same. Some highlights were 5 cars were involved in lap 1 carnage. It was Ocon, Zhou, Albon, Perez, and Bottas, and all slide to the back of the pack during the safety car that ensued. Then by the end, 5 cars retired, which is, it's pretty high for most races. Bottas from being hit by Sargent, Sergio Perez from damage after hitting Magnussen and also carrying damage from lap 1, was ruining his race. Albon from carrying damage from lap 1. Lance Stroll from a failed rear wing, and Logan Sargent from hitting Bottas. So lots of retirements this time around. Max is back in full form, qualified P1, finished P1, took fastest lap, so all is right with the world again. And finally there was some Sergio Perez weirdness. He got a 5-second penalty for passing a car on the way into the pit lane during the first safety car, retires a while later, soon after hitting poor Magnussen, then goes back out on lap 40, gets his penalty served, and retires again. This makes sure he'll not lose grid positions next race due to an outstanding penalty. It's all within the rules, and they asked the race committee before doing it. Everyone think it was okay, but I doubt this loophole will be permitted again. That just seems somehow wrong. For the teams championship, we have no changes. Just a few notes, I guess. Red Bull, clearly the flexi wing situation that people were thinking, it must have been the removal of their flexi wing due to the regulation change last week. But no, clearly that was not the reason for their horrible performance in Singapore. It was, in fact, most people are concluding, the raised ride height of the car wreaking havoc with their aero package. It's just not meant to be there. And it was amazing to see just how much it struggled. And Ferrari, I mean, we mentioned them not at all because they didn't change places, but both drivers are getting decent performance out of the car, keeping themselves up there in the fight near the top, and bringing home P4 and P6 for the team. And that's it. Next race is in Qatar in 2 weeks. See you there. Have a great 2 weeks. Oh, and for the little bit at the end, if you're in Bermuda and you like avocados, hit me up in the comments because they keep falling down from our 4 trees. And the storms definitely put down more than I can eat up. All right, enjoy.